like to just get in there and go. So the fact that I can set up this one microphone and with a click of a button be able to access multiple microphones and preamps is just like, oh my gosh, it is amazing. Hey, calling all singers, producers, engineers, and recording artists, listen up. I want you to imagine this. You have 8 of the world's best vintage microphones and 2 preamps at your fingertips, all with the click of a mouse. Not only this, you can audition each mic and do your own mic shootout without actually having to unplug a single cable or switch out a microphone. And get this, once you track the vocal, if you change your mind about the mic or the tone you want, you can change it in post. That's right, I said in post. And what if I told you you could have all of this for just a fraction of the cost of just one of these mics? Sounds pretty sweet, right? Hey, I'm Kris Bradley with Produce Like a Boss, and today I want to introduce you to the Slate Virtual Microphone System. Now, the Slate VMS includes an extremely transparent condenser microphone and a state-of-the-art digital processing suite that recreates the tone of classic microphones and preamps. So what does that mean? It means it's like having several mics in one, and this might be the last studio mic you'll ever need to buy. Like ever. It also means that the dream of being able to sing through a $20,000 vintage analog mic chain just became a reality. So let's jump into this bad boy and see what it's all about. Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby, don't you wanna play? Throw your chips all in it. Welcome to the fun house of mine. Okay, so first let's go ahead and select our virtual mic locker. That is located on the VMR strip, so I'm going to open it up right there, click on microphones, classic tubes, and then I'm going to pull that in. Now, I like to bring the intensity up to just around 130% so I can really hear the mic, and then you click on the mics here to audition through the different microphones. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a preamp, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the FG73. Now, the FG73 is super bold and present and warm, and it just sounds good on really any audio source. So that's kind of my go-to. Just keep in mind when you're selecting a preamp that it's really going to help to shape the character and the tone of whatever you put it on. So keep that in mind moving forward. I'm just going to crank up the trim a hair on this one because I know that's how I usually like the setting, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave it. So the next thing we're going to do is a mic shootout. And as I was mentioning earlier, this is something that you can do in post, which is one of my favorite things about the Slate VMS. So let's jump in. We've got the lead vocal soloed, and we're going to go ahead and listen through all these microphones. But before we jump in, I just want to mention this. When you're auditioning microphones, it's going to be a good idea to listen both in solo and along with your track. For the purposes of this video, I want to make sure you can hear the subtle differences between the takes. So I'm not going to be listening to the track the whole time. Let's start with the FG47 on solo. Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. So this is super thick. It has a really full-bodied low end. You could really hear the mid-range in it. And for me, when I hear this mic on my voice, it almost sounds like this is happening. And not in a bad way. It's just taking off a lot of that high end, really mid-present. Let's have a listen to the FG800 next. Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. And in case you can't hear the difference, I'm just going to switch over in between. So here's the FG47. Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby, don't you wanna play? Throw your chips all in and welcome to the fun house of mine. So you can hear that the FG800 is super bright, it's super airy, and it just has like pop polish like written all over it. It is one of my favorite microphones. It still really keeps the warm bottom end as well. It's not like annoyingly high, it's just the perfect amount of bright and shiny. I absolutely love this mic. Next, let's listen to the FG251, which is another one of my favorites. Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house. So with this one, it's super crisp and it's super warm, and it's like, it's just no wonder this is one of the most like in-demand vocal mics on the market. One of my favorites. Let's listen to the difference between that FG 800 and the 251 though. We'll start with the 800.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of
Switching.
crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby, don't you wanna play? Throw your chips all in and welcome to the fun house of mine.
Ooh, so good. I'm having a hard time choosing, but let's keep going. Let's listen to the FG 67.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine.
So this is thick. It's thicker, it's dark, it's bold, and I like it a lot. Let's have a listen to the FG 12.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine.
So this is definitely rich, and it's a little bit smoother. I know this one emulates an Australian classic microphone, so it's kind of rich and kind of smooth. Let's have a listen to the FGM7.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby.
So something that really stands out to me about this mic is that it's super punchy and crisp. Like it really just, I could tell, like let's listen to it with the track. I could just tell this is gonna cut through a mix.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine.
Yeah, I really dig that. I'm gonna go back into solo here. Let's listen to the FG800M.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine.
I love this. It reminds me of the FG800, but it's a little darker and a little fatter. Usually I reach for that FG800, but I'm almost wondering if for this track, especially being a darker track like this, if this might be a better fit. I think this is the winner so far, but let's listen to this last one, the FG269.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby.
Okay, so this is very comparable to the FG67, but it has a different tube, which makes it sound a little bit more open and a little bit more clear. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the FG800M. It really reminds me of the FG800, but it's a little darker and a little fatter, and it just feels like it's gonna match the tone of this track a little bit more. And yeah, I really like this one. So we're gonna select that for our lead vocal. Honestly, my favorite thing about this microphone, besides the fact that it sounds so damn good, is that it's just really convenient. You know, I am not a gearhead. Like, I'm not one of those producers that loves to set up and tear down gear. In fact, like, I like to just get in there and go. So the fact that I can set up this one microphone and with a click of a button be able to access multiple microphones and preamps is just like, oh my gosh, it is amazing. So yeah, the fact that this is super convenient is also a huge plus for me. So I'm gonna move on to background vocals, and I actually like to pick a background vocal mic that is really different than what I used on my lead vocals. So in this case, I'm using something that's pretty bright and it's pretty crisp and pretty forward, which I love doing on my lead vocal. But for the background vocals, I think I want something a little bit more dark and with a little bit less top end that's really gonna stay out of the way of the lead vocal. Now, this is something that I can do, and I do with EQ as well, but I always love to start at the source whenever possible. So let's jump in and grab a microphone that is appropriate for these background vocals. So one of the mics that I love to use on background vocals is that 47 that we started with. So let's go ahead and grab that. I'm gonna go into Mics Classic Tubes, crank up this intensity just right around 130, give or take, and I'm gonna grab that FG47, and let's just listen to this soloed out with and without. So let's bypass this first, and then we'll listen to just the background vocal.
The madness flows like wine.
Okay, let's listen with.
The madness flows like wine.
You hear what I mean? How it kind of does this and it kind of takes a little bit of that top end off. I love that. So I'm actually going to copy paste this over to the other two BGVs. So I'll go ahead and just get rid of that and just copy paste over so that they're all using that FG47 microphone. And now I'm going to solo and just listen to them together. And you know what? Let's actually put that lead vocal in there too so you can hear how they really stay out of the way of that vocal.
Like wine. Welcome to the fun house.
And I'm going to take that a step further by just giving them a little bit of panning, moving this over to the left a little bit. I'll move this over to the right. And you know what? Let's actually widen those out just a hair. And then I'll pull this one over to the right a little bit, grab that volume and pull it down, and just get them to sit really nicely beneath the lead vocal.
Welcome to the fun house, baby, to the right kind of crazy where the madness flows like wine. Welcome to the fun house, baby. Don't you wanna play? Throw your chips all in and welcome to the fun house of mine.
Yes, I love it. So you'll notice without me even using EQ, I've been able to differentiate these background vocals from this lead vocal pretty clearly, and it just kind of feels like they're all playing together and not taking up the same frequency, right, where they're going to clash and kind of mud each other out. So really, really happy with the results of this so far. So a couple years ago, we were at Westlake Studios in LA on Santa Monica Boulevard, and we decided to do a mic shootout with the Slate VMS and the microphones that it emulates. So we had a Sony C800, we had a Telefunken 251, and honestly, like, we couldn't really tell the difference, and really, to tell you the truth, most of us actually preferred the Slate. Crazy, right? Well, that wraps up my walkthrough of the Slate virtual mic system, which has become a staple in the Produce Like a Boss studio. I gotta say, as a producer and session singer, I feel it is so valuable to have this locker full of gorgeous mic emulations, not only for myself as a singer, but for the different types of vocalists that I track in here as well. And honestly, I'm so happy with this mic. It's like I got so much value in just one piece of gear. Between the mics and the preamps and the fact that I can use it in my VMR, it's like, when it comes to mics, why look any further? This is the future of microphones.